Hello Libra, welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So if you didn't know already, I have a new background, my new tapestry. Hope you enjoy it. I do. I come and watch my videos now just to look into it and allow my imagination to go down that path. It's kind of fun, no? So Libra, how have you been doing? My wonderful scales of justice. I've been seeing the card that represents your energy all over readings lately. So I like to say that all of your energy is paying off. You're bringing balance and harmony to relationships and situations and places around you. You're doing a good job, Libra. You're spreading your energy in the best way possible. So I'm going to do for you what I did for Virgo. I'm going to do a Celtic Cross spread. I used to do them a lot when I was learning to read tarot, and I got away from it because I'm always exploring new avenues. But then I was playing with it again a couple nights ago. I thought, I really like this. I feel like doing this like on the channel, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to do that for you. It came out, I felt it came out really, really well for Virgo. And we'll see what messages we have for you. I'm using, I believe it is a good tarot. I should have looked before I started recording again. I think it's a good tarot. Lots of imagery and interesting messages that come through with it. So there is going to be an extended at the end of this. The link is at the top of the description if you are drawn to it. And in the extended, I'm going to look at how energy continues to progress forward for you. Sort of like wanting to know, trying to find out for you what the potential outcomes could be and what advice is for you as you move forward through that. So that's that. So let's get started. I've been pre-shuffling. I'll do one more and then we'll start pulling the cards out for you for your Celtic Cross. It is one of the real traditional spreads for tarot, so why not do it, right? The Five of Earth is out, but I'm not ready to pick cards yet. So a feeling of isolation, a feeling of lack, wanting to come in out of the cold. But I kind of feel like with this card, there might be more around you. There might be quite a bit of abundance around you on some level, but in some other level in your life, it doesn't feel like it. It's feeling like some sort of lack on that element where you would like to improve that. All right, we're going to do the Celtic Cross for Libra. Celtic Cross for Libra. And it's such a big deck too, and it's a big card spread, so you'll see some of it on the table. Where you are now, the Ten of Fire, you are releasing some sort of burden. You're in the process of lightening up the load, trying to reduce what some of this heavy energy is, obligations, things that you've picked up along the way that aren't serving you anymore. You're kind of in the process of letting some of that go. Oh, wow. But what challenge, like what sits across, okay, sorry, you can't see that here yet. So what sits across this, like releasing these burdens? You have the Two of Fire. You know what I felt like immediately when that came out to go across, like where you are right now with what you're doing? Is a little bit like reminiscing about things that haven't worked out. Trying to get some sort of balance between all the things that you feel like could be many different things, or could be one thing in particular that you're releasing from your life, and trying to come into balance with that and understanding how you can go forward. I mean, it's still a little bit of a Two of Wands, like wondering what the possibilities could be for you and where you can go and what you can find out there in the world and what you can explore, and kind of coming to terms with realizing that there's a lot of possibilities and options out there. But this almost feels almost like a little bit Two of Pentacles, as if the way it's, I can't pick cards up because I cut my nails. The way it lays across here. I feel like there's some of these burdens, some of these things that you were in the process of releasing yourself from. There is a bit of a nostalgia perhaps attached to them. Wow, so to focus on the Five of Water The Five of Water is like the Five of Cups. It's about things that haven't worked out. Things that haven't worked out in the past. Wow, it's really coming through how those first two cards. So, you know what? Yeah, like allow yourself to feel these energies, to feel these emotions, to feel like things, to process it, to process what hasn't worked out in the past so that you can get yourself ready to move forward. It does feel very much like releasing whatever this is to you, is kind of processing it and coming to terms with, you know, well, for every door that opens, one closes behind often. I mean, energy, only so much energy can exist within one person, one situation. Every beginning, every ending was once a beginning. That's a song. That's in the song. Who is that? That's every ending was once a beginning, wasn't it? Every closed door was once an open door that you walked through. It's almost like processing all of that for you right now. So your past, transformation, death and rebirth. It kind of feels like you're about to go into the rebirth energy. You're putting the final nails on the coffin of an ending on some element in your life. So your past, death and rebirth. Every door that is closing was once a door that you were walking through. There's such a heavy feeling of nostalgia and endings and beginnings. It's almost very scorpionic. Well, this is a Scorpio card, but it's very scorpionic. So your strength, the card that came out, the Five of Earth, the Five of Pentacles. Your strength is, you know, being actually in these feelings, in this energy of nostalgia, reminiscing, coming to terms with, endings, feeling the lack in that. But I said when this card first kind of popped out that it felt to me as if there is abundance around you. It's just not how you associated the abundance before. Or it has a different label, it has a different direction. This is your strength. Your focus is the Five of Cups and your strength is the Five of Pentacles. I feel like a reason for that really truly would be that moving forward into your new beginning, getting prepared to do that in such a healthy way. Because to come to terms with things that haven't worked out, you're really looking at the part you played in it. You're really looking at it, how was it beneficial when I started this course or this relationship or this direction in life? And then how did that play out? How was I true to myself? How were other people true to themselves? How did everything play out in a really holistic manner to get to where it is now that it's the door closing? What were the lessons in that for me? How can I take those lessons and how can I apply them to my life moving forward? It's really holistic. It's really, it's not exactly like the energy like, okay, so Virgo had it was, whoa, this is great kind of reading, where this is actually preparing for greatness. I would call it that, preparing for greatness. I'm writing these down now because I always forget when I'm going to call these. I get so enveloped in the reading itself that by the time I'm finished, I don't remember what the message that I thought that this is what this is. This is preparing for greatness. This isn't going forward with like really toxic ideals about yourself and how things have worked out and being jaded and being critical. And this is really just coming to terms with reality in a healthy way, but in a way where it's not that, what is one of those, it's a great term that's going around and it's very, very true. And it can be very, very enmeshed with the spiritual journey, is toxic positivity. Like it's not, you're not involved in that at all here. You're really looking at things for what they are to have actual spiritual growth. There's two kind of things that I find that can come into the spiritual journey for people that are expanding spiritually, trying to understand themselves on a deeper level and become more consciously aware of themselves and how they're functioning throughout their life. It seems to draw in, it can draw in very narcissistic personalities, or people who are, it feeds their narcissism because, oh, look at me, I'm on this spiritual journey, I'm doing these good things, I have all the answers. Really, no one has all the answers. I don't have all the answers. I just read the cards. I'm just as human as you are. And then the toxic positivity, like, well, nothing bad will happen, or everything good comes out. I mean, I do believe that in the end, there is good, but you have to go through the crap to get there. And I feel like that's what's happening. That's what you're doing. You're really looking at it. And look at her. She's burning all these maybe ideas, thoughts, connections from the past, but she's looking at them. She's really looking at them. Not just putting it on a shelf. Let's forget about that. Not doing that again. Okay, let's go have a good time. Right? No. I feel because you want to have success moving forward. You don't want to have to go through all of what you've been through without it having meaning, without it having a reason. So your future. Oh, jeez. Oh, you know, that's interesting. Your future is the Hermit. So you're doing, I really like it, Libra. I really do. You're giving yourself the time. You're respecting yourself and your journey enough to give yourself the time that you need. And maybe it's just one element in your life. Tarot Wands, though, it can be a lot of elements in your life. It could be one thing that's happened and it's affected you in a way, or it's triggering you in a way that makes you look at everything else. It's like, wow. Now, wait a second. I need to really look at this stuff because it's giving me a different perspective. It's kind of opened your eyes. You've already opened your eyes to who you are and where you're going on this journey. And now you're kind of taking the time to think about everything around you and how that kind of comes into play, how that works with you. So your future is the Hermit. And what I find is interesting, because this in the Virgo reading, which is their energy is the Hermit, if you're drawn to it, I would go and check it out, because I feel like this is where you're taking yourself, because this is your future. And I did say, I guess I can bring these down a bit. Oh, sorry. This is, see, I forgot again. Preparing for greatness, because the Virgo reading was like, wow, this is all playing out. It's all going to happen. Like, but I feel like this is what you're doing. You're creating the foundation for that. And this kind of proved it. You are. You're creating the foundation for that. With the Hermit, self-reflection, finding your own answers. You and the divine here. So suggestions, approach here, the Seven of Water. I think as a suggested approach here, moving forward, when you go into the Hermit mode, allow yourself to dream again. Allow yourself to be confused about the possibilities. Allow yourself to find wonder in that. Doesn't she look like it's just like, wow. Wow. Maybe that's for me. Maybe it's not. Oh, isn't that beautiful? Where could that be? What could that be? Where could that go? And then move on to the next dream. Allow yourself in this Hermit mode to, it feels like, not be hugely analytical. I feel like a processing feelings and emotions. Really processing your feelings and your emotions. Don't be too analytical about it. If you're going to analyze anything, analyze what you used to dream about and what you'd like to dream about now. What you need to know. The Ace of Fire. There is some sort of a new place for you. There is something to be found on your journey when you're ready. And it's warm and it's inviting and it feels really good. It feels like home. I always, whenever I see this card, it feels like home to me. And home to me is a place when I was very young, where my grandparents lived. And like my grandmother would get up. Actually, it was an interesting dynamic because my grandfather was a Capricorn and my grandmother was an Aries. And I didn't always get along. But it created a really, what felt like as a child anyways, a very stable, abundant, fruitful, expansive, creative, fun environment where anything could happen. And my grandfather was always building stuff and always teaching me about nature and my place in that. And my grandmother was always up at 4 a.m. and baking pies and bread and things from like scratch. And as a kid, I would just go wander into the farm fields across from their place. And then I would find cow trails and I would follow the old cow paths into the woods and find like really cool, wonderful places. And then it would start to get cold and dark. Like the sun had set and there wasn't much twilight left. And I thought, I really need to get back. And usually I had like a dog with me. So I was totally alone in the woods as a little kid. But I usually had a Labrador Retriever or something like that around me. And I would come out of the cow trail and it would be getting dark. And I could see the glow from the lights in the house. And I knew what was there and what was waiting for me. And I could smell, because for the longest time, I think until he was 80, my grandfather had a wood-burning furnace. And he was so religious about cutting and splitting and chopping his own wood and keeping his own home warm. Like it was a big house. Like it had all modern conveniences like showers. Even had a wood-burning fireplace. But he had that wood-burning furnace and you could smell the smoke. So I see this and I really feel like what you need to know is this feeling of loss, because it's actually your strength. There's something that it feels so much more like home to you. And this is almost like the energy of being homeless. So, hey, how do you find a new place for you? How do you find that new warmth in whatever this is for you, where you feel like home, where you feel comfortable, where you know what's there for you, what's waiting for you, and it's very comfortable, it's very inviting, the possibilities are endless, and it's very grounded and enlightened. But you almost need to be homeless to find it. You have to be depleted to find the nutrients. Huh, interesting. That is really interesting, Libra. It's a really beautiful energy on a very, like, sort of scorpionic level. But you lift it up somehow with your own energy beyond. It's not just in the depths of water here. It's almost as if it's in the depths of earth and fire, what you're going through, or you're negotiating. So your hopes and your fears, the messenger of water. It's almost as if you hope for love to reach out to you again, for contact, to have some sort of contact. But your fear is, well, where could that go? I mean, for it to be your hope and your fear. Interesting too, because Virgo had the page of water as their hope and fear. You have the actual messenger. You have the movement towards it. It moving towards you. How this can change you. Because your focus is on, you know what your focus is on the loss. But I feel like moving forward, you're going to internalize and then your hope is to have something good again. But then you're a little bit worried about, you know, well, can that backfire? I think the real thing to take from this so far at this point is that, like, whatever process you're going through, you're alchemizing the past. Learn from it, but don't make it who you are. Learn from it, but don't make it who you are. Allow whatever you've been through in the past to serve as a new map moving forward. But now you've had time to maybe even negotiate this unknown space, or what was unknown to you at some point. But now you've been able to, you know, make little notes along the map, right? Here be monsters, here lie monsters, or then the gold chest, the treasure chest on the map. It's a hope and a fear. And look at you, she's all covered, almost like a treasure chest. She has pearls and beautiful adornments all around her. I feel like too, with the difference in size, do you feel bigger or smaller than what could be coming towards you? Or do you feel in alignment with it? Maybe that's part of your worry. Coming out of this hermit, like who you truly are after doing this self-exploration. Do you feel, will this feel balanced? Will it feel like something small? And maybe I don't want to lower myself to that. I want to be who I am. Or, because to me, you could be either one of these. Who's actually giving the message and who's actually receiving? But is there balance? And see, that's where I feel like as Libra, wanting to know, wanting to feel like wherever I'm going, whatever I'm going to come towards on an emotional level here, where my intuition is taking me, where my journey is taking me, will it feel equal? I think because there's a difference in size here, the message is sometimes you may feel bigger and sometimes you may feel smaller, and that's the balance here. Sometimes you'll have something to give, but then sometimes you'll need to receive. And then good things come in small packages too. All right, the last card is a potential future for you. Ooh, the Nine of Fire, which is like the Nine of Wands. It doesn't feel very much like that. This feels like coming out of hermit mode, because it almost looks like the hermit, doesn't it? The typical hermit is walking through the darkness with their own lantern to light their way. Coming out, when you come out, you're going to light your way, but on many levels, but makes so much sense because you're burning up so much of the past. You're working through so much of the past. So you are starting to light your way. And I love that it's a star. It's symbolized by stars. There's little fairies and pixies along the way. What you light your new cycle up with your new journey, with your new plan here. Sorry, I just saw something I didn't see in that other card, is your hopes and your dreams and your healing. So healed you is what leads you, not hurt you, healed you. I just went back here because I think I have seen this before, but I didn't see it today looking at this card right now. The little pixie sitting on the top there. I guess maybe you look, I was so focused on this glow, but something sitting up atop there. There's more waiting for you than you realize, and some of it is hidden until you get there. Maybe grandma made that your favorite pie. Who knows? And that's at the bottom. Oh my gosh, I don't know. If you're drawn to it, I don't want to tell you, you have to go and watch it. Only if you're drawn to it. The synchronicities to me about what this feels like literally the reading I did for Virgo, this feels like the preemptive energy to that, and the sun. Because this was where they are in their reading. So this was the one, the first card, and then this was their strength. And you have them here, and it resonating like that. Like, if you feel like there's still some difficult energy to negotiate, like underneath the sun, you have the Nine of Air, which is like the Nine of Swords. Can be anxiety. How's that showing up? Being connected. I think one of the clues here to releasing the anxiety is just allowing the journey to happen, to take place. She's really being guided here. It's almost like birds of a feather have come together. But yeah, this is really the building blocks for going into your greatness. And again, it doesn't have to be your whole life, but it does feel like at least one major element of your life that maybe you are seeing. It's kind of making you aware of other parts of your life and working through all of that. Really allow yourself to dream, Libra. That's the best thing here with everything all these different energies. especially like these two. I think though that interesting that shows up is your strength. Like feeling homeless, feeling insecure about your future. But what you need to know is, well, the best place, if you already have a home, you don't need this. If you already feel secure, you don't need this, right? It's a little bit like coming out of the woods and, geez, I'm really getting hungry now. I'm starting to get cold. It's starting to get dark. Oh, look. Oh, yeah, I know what's waiting there for me. Having that expectation, too, with the Seven of Water, allowing yourself to dream about those possibilities. What would that feel like? How would that feel for me? Even if it's a workspace, if it's an actual home, if it's a relationship, if it's a new way of connecting with someone. There you go, Libra. I loved it. It was really beautiful. Thank you for letting me do that reading. I'm going to go do the extended. I'm going to get a different deck, and I'm going to look at potential outcomes and advice for you. All right. Thank you so much. Until next time, Libra, be gentle with yourselves. Bye.